So you left your corporate career to build your own thing. Then between AI-driven search and ever-shifting algorithms and lots of lame marketing hacks, you're drowning in options and you just need to know, what do I focus on to acquire more clients? Well, stick around because in this video, I'm going to give you the straight dirt on actually what's changed and what client generating activities are really working in 2025 and beyond. I'm Janet Bartoli. I left my corporate career in 2018 and I'm operating my own consulting business. So today I am using my 20 years of experience to cut through the time wasters and show you exactly what's working. By the end of this video, you're going to understand why community is the most powerful growth engine right now and how to start building your own community within your business right away. The way that we find and trust brands doesn't look anything like 2005. And in 2025, it'll be even more personal. It already is. Just the mere nature of me talking to you on this platform. So welcome to the age of community as your primary marketing lever. Let's get into it. Well, here I am telling you, community is the most powerful growth engine right now. And I know that many of you, this is not going to come as a surprise, but there's definitely 3 places that you should consider. Number 1, Substack and paid newsletters. And I know that you are likely a subscriber to somebody's Substack. I have noticed, I would say in the last 6 months, an increasing amount of Substack newsletters coming my way. And there's a few of them, and I'll share you with who those are, but there's a lot of them. And this is definitely something where I would say probably 3 years ago, people were using it, especially those that were writers or maybe reporters were using it even more than podcasters or other creators. But it's definitely a legitimate, very clean, friendly place to be. You can host your podcast there. You can have just general other video there, of course. You can move your YouTube videos over there. You can also make it a paid space as well, of course. And then in the bottom right, that's my marketer's brief. Now that's my newsletter that I have on LinkedIn. So it's a really great place if you just want to kind of dip your toe into the newsletter water. That's a great place to go and just kind of share your point of view. And again, I'm sure that you probably are, subscribers of other people's LinkedIn newsletters, but great place to start is there. I think this is a great place, as the quote from Kevin Arnovitz from Pack Your Knives. He said, "We moved to Substack because the platform enables us to develop Pack Your Knives into a more weekly podcast, expand our offerings beyond the weekly recap, and build a community hub for all things Top Chef." That's the point, is it allows for that community engagement. Second one, 2 great examples before we move on, which is Deborah Ashley's Power in Silk. This is her brand new Substack. She has a regular email newsletter, but she just recently created her own new Substack. She also offers like a Q&A. She's got a paid, so she's got the free side, like a lot of Substack creators have. They'll have a paid side as well as a free side. So if you don't want to pay, you can read some portion of their newsletter. And then if you want to get more engaged and you want to do it a Q&A or whatever, you can pay to be a part of her group. Justin Welsh also, he's got one that is called Unsubscribe, and his also brand new. And I just saw him go live in his Substack last week. So there's a lot of people jumping into Substack and really taking advantage of it. As I said, 2 really great examples here. Now, the other thing is we've got Spotify and YouTube are other places where you can build your community. You can have public and paid channels here. These are really great places where you can source comments and really kind of hear from a bunch of different people. So your podcast community is number 2 in terms of where to build out your community and really engage with them. And the one on the left are comments from a Spotify episode. So again, if, and this is, I think it's a relatively new feature that Spotify has in there where you can now comment. You can also have polls and engage with your community. Community is not just for platforms like Memberful or Kajabi has a community platform. There's so many platforms. Circle is another one, great place. Slack, of course. So there's so many places. And this, I think, has been on the rise in the last couple of years as people have been, I think, also mostly moving away from Facebook. Facebook, I think the number one reason people are still there is because of the groups. Again, it's community. So building out your community, whether it's a paid or a public channel, having your podcast there and engaging with them is great. But did you also know 60% of podcast listeners join associated Facebook or Discord groups? So they do want to engage, and that's a pretty good number. If you can engage some portion of your podcast listening audience into becoming part of your community, why not? Podcast YouTube memberships. Having that YouTube membership is another way. And that is where the Doc Party from one of the YouTubers that I follow there, he does a great job. And every week he goes live and it's just live chat Q&A for his channel members. So another really great way to, if you want to monetize your YouTube channel and also establish a really tight-knit community. So you might be saying, okay, why is this working? Now, as I mentioned at the beginning, 2005, so 10 years ago, I'm sorry, 20 years ago, okay, 2005, customers, and I would say all the way through really 2015, even as recently as 10 years ago, customers really were trusting of brands. There's been a big shift and a change in the last, I think, 5 years, really since the pandemic, probably, when now they're trusting peers. People are trusting reviews. That's why Google reviews works really well, or a Yelp review. People want to trust other people that maybe are like-minded or have experienced something that they want to understand what their experience is like. They also enjoy real conversations. And again, this goes back to another video when I talked about how AI is not going to replace you. It's because we're humans. Humans want to engage with other humans. And so we want to have real conversations. There are many platforms right now where you can have real conversations with people in your community. This place is definitely one of those, but there are many other places, as I mentioned. Community builds rapport. So if you're trying to sell something, and I'm actually testing something out that I will share with you. I will definitely share with you on a future video, depending on how the results go, of course, but I am testing out as a consulting agency. That part of my business is doing some outbound cold email. So instead of sending a series of cold emails to people asking to book a call, I am inviting them in to join me in a live workshop. It's a free workshop, and that way I can build rapport with them, and I can speak to their pain points and help them understand that this is really what my expertise is, and I'm here to help them. So I'm not selling them anything, but then at the end, I'm going to be offering them an opportunity to have an industrial growth blueprint, which is something that I build specifically for the manufacturing industry. And that, if they want to take advantage of it, great. If not, they've walked away with some information and some knowledge. The point of that exercise is really just to build rapport with them, and really just get an understanding and having conversations with them. You can also talk to them on Discord or Slack or YouTube or Substack or so many other of these places. So how do you build rapport? Very, very simply. Your customers organically will recommend you. And so those people that join your community, and one of the communities that I think back to was Laurel Portier, and she was teaching Facebook paid ads. And so she had developed a really a great tight-knit community of very loyal members. She had a membership, and I think she still does. But in that membership, she's built a loyal following. People really trust her. She has shown her expertise, and that's the whole point. Is just prove your expertise over and over, and then invite them to join you in a community environment. Because my last point, that level of trust, it will beat your paid search ROI every single time. And I don't really put down paid search, but when it comes to this form of marketing, for especially if you're brand new in your service-based business, this is a great place for you to really expend your time as you're trying to really build relationships. Now, there's 4 ingredients that I'm going to share with you on building community for your business. Again, I've been working through some of this myself, and I'm going to be sharing more specifics in a future video. But number one, find your home base. It doesn't have to be all of these things at once, but pick one. Substack, YouTube, Kajabi, Circle, Memberful. There's a whole bunch of groups. If you just searched for community platforms, you're going to find a ton of them. Discord, Slack. Again, there's loads of them. Pick one of these places. Then, number 2, build your content rhythm. So you've got to establish some kind of semblance of how often am I going to be doing this? Is this going to be a weekly newsletter? Is this going to be a live stream Q&A that I do every Tuesday? Is it going to be a monthly conversation in your private group? So figure out what that is. Don't overextend yourself. I think so many people will say, oh, I can do this 5 days a week. I can launch something every other day. I think I am guilty of that myself, especially when I started out. I think the best thing you can do is just go extremely low, at low level, something you can hit. Because as a founder, the most important thing is getting any kind of a small win in, especially early on. If you're early on in your business, you want to get a small win. So make it once a month. That's something you can absolutely get prepared for. If it's a once a month live stream Q&A on YouTube, do that. And if you don't have people that show up, be prepared so that in the event they don't show up, have about 10 questions that are frequently asked questions that you usually get asked, and start going through those and have a conversation. If a few people join, great. Have a conversation with them. That's where it starts. It's got to start there. Number 3, access and interaction. Definitely offering live office hours for your paid members. I did that in a bunch of different courses that I offered. I always wanted to allow them every opportunity to just ask me questions. I would have a 4 or 6 week course, and we would have scheduled 2 weekly lives. One, I would educate them, and like Tuesday and Thursday, we would do Q&A. Anytime anybody wanted my time, if they were a paid member of my group, I always gave them that time to ask any questions. And it's just really a way, again, to develop a rapport and a relationship with them. Number 4, have a shared identity and goals. So this is why this also works, because for example, one of my courses, it was for SEO professionals. It was all people in the SEO industry. And so they were all interested in growing their careers. You could have a group of people who are interested in building out our YouTube channel or building a membership group or whatever it is. It could also be something that's not business related. It could be something where it's just like a hobby group, learning how to play guitar or whatever. Could be anything, but it's really where you're establishing that community. Now, how do you get started? Because it can certainly be overwhelming. And again, I would take a week by week approach. As I've always said, everything should be done in 90-day increments. Whether you're testing something, you're launching something, think of it in terms of 90 days. It's 3 months. So you could even break this up into 3 months and it shouldn't take you long to define your ideal client. What's their biggest friction point? The whole magic wand question, asking them, if I could wave a magic wand and just solve any challenge in your bottleneck in your business, whatever that was, what would it be? And why? And just the more you really understand, the better that you can get at helping them solve their problem. So have a week of just sourcing that content and putting that together. Week 2, launch a free weekly touch point. whether it's a newsletter with a paid upgrade option, whether it is a Q&A live here on this platform or on Substack, but figure out where that place is. Week 3, that's where you have your members only office hours. Now, this might be a little premature because maybe you don't yet have anybody following you or anybody on your physical email list. So this may take some time, but it's my opportunity to call out the fact that I am starting my own first Ask Me Anything, and it's going to be on June 20th, which is next Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. And I want you to just join me every Friday. Ask me any questions you have, and I'm going to be here on this platform live. And I'll make sure that there will be an option somewhere where you can make sure that you get that reminder. But that's something you can do. And I hope you do show up, but if you don't, I'm going to be there answering questions. Week 4, always assess the feedback you get. And I would say this should be every month. At the end of every month, just assess the feedback you're getting. Don't expect things to happen immediately. You've got to keep at it. You will see change. You've got to show up. You've got to be consistent and then really start getting that feedback. But I want you to really take this role seriously. Some of the things that people really kind of mess up in building a community is they're not present. So you really got to show up to your people and you've got to be on schedule. If you tell them every Tuesday, we're going to do an Ask Me Anything and you don't show up, but maybe every 2 Tuesdays or whatever, and it's very inconsistent, you're going to lose trust with your community fast. So you've got to build in that trust with them. And you do that by being present on a consistent basis. Facilitate. So making sure that you're not the only one talking. There may be other people in your group who are experts at something else and who may be able to help others in the group. You definitely want to be, not all the time, but eventually you want to become a facilitator. You're the leader of that group. So it's up to you to kind of help source out those other people in the group who love to help out others, lend a hand or give, throw their 2 cents in on certain things that they've tried. You want to be the facilitator in that situation. And of course, iterate. This is not something you're going to set it and forget it. You're going to use surveys and you're going to ask, you're going to get constant feedback from them. It may change shape as you go along because what it started out at one point may turn into something else. And that's totally okay too, as long as your community is getting something out of it. You really want to serve your community. You want to help them and you want to give them what they need. So my best advice to you is just understand that marketing today isn't about scattering tactics. It's definitely not about how it was 10, 15 years ago. Even paid ads in Facebook or in Instagram, even that has completely changed. The organic reach you get anywhere from social media is also pretty lacking. So you've got to start thinking differently. And I think community is the place that we should really be fostering a lot of time and attention. So find a space, gather all your people in that space, and let's build our community. Thank you for watching. I want you to throw some comments below. What platform have you already started your community? If you have, what platforms are you using? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.